Let's move on to what's coming up tomorrow. It's the brightest colors. Out of all the 8 teams in the tournament, you pick the 2 brightest colors and they're up against each other. Bright orange from Hyderabad against bright pink from Rajasthan, the royal pink, the regal colors. It's going to be a fascinating matchup because we've just referred, Simon, to teams like Rajasthan who we were starting to write off like Punjab, but they are also trying to find their way back in.
Yeah, well, they can equal Kolkata, can't they, on 10 points with a win tomorrow, and Sunrisers can jump to 8 points. So Hyderabad have got more to play for tomorrow to make sure that they stay in the tournament. If they don't win tomorrow, you're kind of thinking, oh, their chip's done. If Rajasthan get up, then they are really putting pressure on Kolkata and that back four, and then they start to maybe get a little bit of momentum as well. So, look, it's as Pommy said earlier, all of these games, they're all turning up, and there's no guarantees, there's no favourites, I don't think. It's just on the day. Smith has a cracking day, Butler has a big day, Jofra picks up 3 in the power play. You just don't know. Warner and Bairstow put on 160. These things happen on a daily basis. And I mean, Pommy, in the commentary box, we're just forever surprised or in awe of certain things that happen.
Let's have a look at the teams, because there is a bit of a question mark about the availability of Varun Aaron. We saw he tweeted the other day about lying in a hospital bed, having a bit of a procedure. So we're not sure where that stands right now. Fairly certain he won't be available for tomorrow. Do you see any sort of changes? One thing is Robin Uthappa at the top. Looks like it's working for them. Any other changes in the 11, Simon?
It's starting to look like they're more settled, I think, Rajasthan. Now, they're overseas players. They're settled on those guys, and that's a given, I think, through to the end of the tournament. Tewadia and Shreyas Gopal, no problem with that. Riyan Parag in the middle. Samson needs to find some runs. That's their biggest, well, not their biggest concern, but he is one of their major concerns, finding some runs, Sanju Samson. But to me, they're a settled 11. Barring injuries, that looks like the 11 that they kind of want to play each game.
Bit of a worry about
that. About who?
Steve Smith. Just
no, don't think so. I think he lost his way, and then I think he's back again. And it's not often you can sort of make a comment about a guy who goes out and faces 2 or 3 balls. But in the times in the middle there where he seemed like he didn't, it would lost him, he'd walk out and he'd try and swipe at a few guys. Like, that's not him. It's just not him. Like, you'd not expect to see that from him, And now he's batting like Steve Smith again, a guy who's in control, who calculates things. And yes, he's going to try and get runs, but he's going to try and get them with Steve Smith shots, not trying to hoik it anywhere, I think it's a clever way to go with them. The fact that they've taken Stokes, who hasn't played cricket for a while, and said you can go and unleash yourself and play naturally of instinct up at the top of the order, rather than come and deal with the slowness of the surface and have fielders in the deep and try and clear them. So that's been found as we've gone along, hasn't it? And Butler has been giving them a decent start up at the top, but he's just the man who can bat 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It doesn't matter where you bat him. And in the form he's in, he's doing good things for them. So, yeah, I think they've kind of got to a place where their team's okay and they need runs from some. I love that Archer's bowling fast. I absolutely love it. Every time he's going to go and bowl, I'm ready to watch. And the reason is it's exciting to see him run up so easy and unleash thunderbolts. He does it like it just gives it this one, and it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. It's just, you want to watch him all the time.
You do want to watch him, unless you happen to be a diehard Sunrisers fan, because you've already got the prospect of Jofra charging at you if you're the opening batsman. Then if you have a look at where you stand, you've lost a couple of games in the trot, and we'll have a quick look at their schedule coming up before we see their team. And whether you consider top 3 teams a threat or not, to finish Delhi, Bangalore, Mumbai, and the last 2 at Sharjah has got to mean that the next 2 games, they want 4 points on the board.
They're gone without 2 wins. I think Rajasthan, Punjab. They need to win both those games, and then that gives them a realistic opportunity. It gets them to 10 points, and then they knock over 2 of the big guns and hope 14 plus a net run rate gets them through. 3 wins. I don't think 12 points gets you through this year. It's just not going to cut the mustard. So they have to look at those 5 games that they've got left and say we need 4 wins. Not easy, but it all starts tomorrow. And what do they do? Geez, David Warner, he must have nightmares about Jofra Archer at the minute. Absolute nightmares about Jofra Archer.
4 out of 6 in that England series. Jofra Archer versus David Warner. Remember the last game he actually pushed himself down the order. Would this be an occasion for him to do it again now that he's actually thrown down the gauntlet and said, okay, somebody else can go and open the batting, Williamson and Bairstow in that case? Were you happy with that opening combination?
Look, I've all along been a sort of a proponent that Kane Williamson, if he doesn't open the batting in T20 cricket, then he probably shouldn't play, because I think he's such a good player of working the gaps and finding the boundaries and just playing good balls, that I just feel that opening the batting is probably his best spot. He needs someone with power with him, and he's got that in Bairstow.
Pommy, you were happy with Warner down?
Look, I don't mind. I think if you're protecting yourself from Archer, that's fine. And I know that may seem silly to say. I know it may seem silly to say, but I don't think the bravado of no, it's not a thing. I don't think that works. Like, the guy keeps getting you out. So let him have a go at somebody else, and maybe you get a start and the team gets a start and Warner walks in at 3 and then all of a sudden it's a better game. So I don't think you should sort of, bury the head in the sand and say, or stick the chest out and say, I'm just going to go anyway. Nah, because how many times does it happen? We talk about it and it keeps happening and teams keep trying to, bang their head against the wall. No, I don't think so. I think, though, that Williamson is brilliant for his adjustment of wherever he bats. So he finds a way to be effective because he's that good. He's that good as a batsman. Just from batsmanship, he will do what is necessary to succeed in whatever position he bats. In a 2020 game, you can go to a 50-over game and to a test match. We know about the other 2 for sure, right? But he is that good. So to have him and not use him, Sunrisers have kind of been sleeping on him a little bit.